we have a special presentation, and so you can, so after which we will sing a hymn, and then proceed outdoors for the living. But this way, everyone will be up to speed on how all this came to be and why we're here today. Sure.
Okay, the first picture here is the one that's over on the wall. It was taken in 1913, and it shows a bell which was cast by McShane Bell Foundry in Baltimore, Maryland, 127 years ago. In fact, McShane Bell Foundry is still in business after all this time. There's a little bit of a, I don't know, controversy or something about the Waterloo Bell, because you look at it, there's two dates on it. One side says 1885, and that is the correct date that the bell was cast and shipped. It was shipped on December 12, 1885 by rail. The date on the other side is 1886, and I have no idea, and I have never found anybody that had any idea what that was there for. If you look at the side of the church and count the windows on the right side, in front of the fourth window you see a little bitty tree, about this big around. But that'll come up a little later. The next picture here, checking for spiders. We found a very large spider web up there, but the bell wasn't full. But what it really was, the first step is whenever you move a bell, you take the clapper out. Because if you dropped it, that clapper extends below the bottom of the bell and it would break the top right out of the bell. So we did that. This next picture, the Waterloo Bell is on the crane being lowered. Now note the tree in the background, that's the same tree that was in the other picture. So that shows you a little bit. Here's the bell on the truck with some of the people from Waterloo. This whole project started when we were in discussions with the, before we were able to rent the church and sanctuary church. Pam Zeppik was there, and she asked if there's any way we could save the bell. It was up the tower. Oh, there's a bell up there? So that's how the whole project started, and of course we could do that. So the next picture, Big C was a great help. We were able to take the bells there, they unloaded them, helped us package them, and then they loaded them on the truck and shipped them from there. They were shipped to McShane Bell Foundry for restoration and storage. Now this is an old picture of the Comloma Church. It was taken before 1922. I got that information from the Historical Society because that's when they started breaking the street out front. And you can look at those little trees in front of the church there, and the same sort of thing holds. The bell in the Comloma Church was cast by the same McShane Bell Foundry that the Waterloo Church was 133 years ago. Okay, here's the bell in the side of the steeple. There was a significant lean, there still is, of that steeple, so we decided to take that out and put the two bells together. Here's the bell on the crane being lowered in front of that little tree. That tree's now well over 3 feet in diameter. Here's both bells in the big seat, or in the truck at Big C, being lowered for shipment for restoration. Now, while the bell tower was, we're going to skip ahead to the bell tower now, while that was being fabricated, a question came up about the size of the cross as compared to the bell. So we have an artistic committee, and that committee traveled to the fabricator to give the project their eagle eye. So here's the eagle eye.
Over their hands in their pocket.
Okay, we dug a hole at the base of the tower with a small back hole, and that was Bruce Meyer that did that. And the hole was supposed to be 6 feet by 6 feet by 5 foot deep. Well, here's Brad in the bottom of the hole. He's leveling the bottom. Pastor Ron walked out about that time and wondered what he was doing. And Brad says, well, he says, I've been coming to church faithfully, and I seem to be going the wrong way. Okay, these are the anchor bolts being placed in the concrete form. There's 16 of them, and they're 3/4 inch, and they're 36 inches long. The tower's not going to go anywhere. Here we are pouring the cement. The problem we had with the pit was that the sides kept caving in, and we ended up with about 7 feet by 8 feet by 5 feet deep, or about 36,000 pounds of concrete.
A lot of concrete.
Here's Brad leveling the cement. I didn't know electricians could also do concrete work. He did a nice job. Ron was supervising. Now, talk about supervising. Here's Pastor Ron with a shovel, showing the rest of his flock how to use a manual backhoe. The rest of his flock don't seem to be paying a whole lot of attention, and not one of them looks guilty. Okay, on the 12th of, in June, the tower was delivered from the fabricator, which was Ray's Welding on Hollywood Road. Charlie Kinnison was the gentleman that built this. And Brad and I had wired the tower. That's what all the light color stuff is. Here's the tower halfway up. We rented one of these big lift trucks, and that really worked slick. We used that quite a bit. It took us about 2 minutes to stand the tower up. Here's Charlie Kinnison, the guy with the torch, cutting the braces off. The braces were on the base of the tower for construction and transportation, and when we tried to set it on the bolts, it wouldn't line up. Oh boy. So he cut those off. The legs snapped around a little bit. It's set right down on there, no problem. Okay, here we're installing the bells. We used the crane, just lifted the bells up under with a bolt in the top, slid it right up in there. It took about a minute or two to do it for each bell. Here's some of the people that helped with putting the tower up. And there was many, many more people. In fact, the flock in the previous picture of standing around, they also helped a tremendous amount. And there's not one person here that didn't help us some way or another. Made my job really easy. Okay, here's Charlie. He spent a day painting, and he took every bit of as much care as Mike Angelo did with the Sister in the Chapel. He painted that whole tower, the black down below, touched it up, and he put 5 coats along with Dave Gerhardt up on the cross. Okay, here's the sand in the patio ready for the pavers, all leveled, ready to go. Here we started the pavers in the corner, and kind of worked across. It was a herringbone pattern, and the engraved pavers are interspersed with the regular pavers. You'll notice we had to make a lot of cuts around the base of each leg because it was all on an angle, and also along the back side there. So Charlie and Dave did the cutting, and you see Dave can kick up a pretty good cloud of dust there. Rumor has it that Sandy would let him in the house that night until he cleaned up. It looks like he's having fun though. Here's another picture of the pavers in the corner. Here we're half done. Here's 3/4 done. And here's the pavers installed. We're another step forward on our Bell project. There's still many pavers available. We put unengraved pavers in the pattern, and then we also are having a biblical garden going in up the right side towards the entry, and there'll be some pavers in there too. Unity Bell Fund, like Pastor Ron said, we're halfway there to our goal, and then the ringing system will complete it, and they'll be alive and ringing again. But if you haven't seen the bell tower at night, make sure you do that, because you'll be in for a treat. Rod took the picture, he took a lot of these pictures, and it really has been helpful to have them. Thank you very much.
The thing that continues to amaze me is that other than the raised welding that fabricated the tower and the concrete company, and of course McShane Foundry, who refurbished the bells, everything else was done by our folks. It was done in-house, which just amazed me.